Happy Saturday, y'all. I'm just here dorking it. I mean, if you guys want to say hi, feel free. You know, it's been a fun day. This morning we had a little garage sale and sold some items and cleared out the garage a little bit, so we're happy for that. And I figured, you know, well, let me kind of dork around tonight and just jabber, I guess. One of my connections earlier when I was talking with him is starting a business, you know, basically something along the lines of a mortgage company. And when it comes to like starting like a website or just coming up with like ideas of, you know, about Shanae Murray, she is a wonderful person when it comes to ideas and just how to navigate LinkedIn and just positivity. And, you know, Shanae, I want to give you a mad shout out because you're awesome. One of the resources that she recommended is a website called Answer the Public. And this is just something to kind of help jog, you know, your memory. And you know what? I realize I can share my screen. So let me try doing that right quick. Or maybe I was. All right, here we are. So it's called Answer the Public. And in this specific situation, I just put in low income mortgage. And I like the feel of it because I mean, it's through Paterva, the Maltico program in some aspects. And it just kind of gives you like all these other things that would be related to it. So if I were to kind of click on alphabetical, oops, I had done this under a VPN just to, you know, be able to bypass, you know, the like three time limit that they had there. But it shows all these other type of things that would also go in line with mortgages. So low income mortgage calculator, and then all these other things that, you know, would go along with that. So the brainstorming that I had, you know, basically was, well, why don't you just kind of look at old mortgage companies that have folded, you know, kind of pull the data that they had, repurpose it to fit your circumstances, and just kind of move on, you know. So that's one way of doing it. And so what I did was typed in mortgage companies that have closed here within DuckDuckGo. And I went over to a website called mortgagedaily.com, and eventually I ended up over at a place called the Mortgage Graveyard, and it was for a company that was called First Cornerstone Bank in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So interesting, you know, I mean, if you want to go through, you know, these type of things, you can see maybe what led up to their downfall, you know, and that's something I really want to look into. So I was like, how am I going to find like the website that shows like that information? I mean, basically, obviously, it's been like how many years now? It's been, I think, since 2015 that they closed. So to be able to find something like that, I'm just seeing if I can answer questions and later on. My bad. You're here too, Joel.
Hello.
So to answer that question, basically there's a way to do it. And one of the ways to do it is to go through a website called archive.org. Before we get there though, you just can't like type in, oh yeah, what would we type in? You know, firstcornerstonebank.com, because we don't know if that would be it for sure. You know, it could take us to some other path, and well, you want to be going to, you know, where it was, right? So when it comes to like listing your websites, oftentimes you want to put it into like a directory where it branches off, like, you know, the Yellow Pages or Yelp and all these other type of, you know, websites that will help direct people's attention to you. And so as I was going through it, I was like, oh yeah, Monta, you know, I mean, dude, that place has been around, or that website's been around forever. I mean, I'll give them a shout out too, because, you know, they offer services that help small businesses. You can do it yourself, but I mean, if you pay a little chunk of change, I mean, basically that saves you time. So time, money, you know. Anyway, basically when I entered that into Manta, I was able to find it. So let me kind of get out of there. And I went over to Google or DuckDuckGo, and I did my little Boolean. So we were looking into Manta.com, First Cornerstone Bank, King of Prussia, right? And so when we go in there, this is the results that it comes up with. This is exactly the information I believe that pertained to that one company. And then visit the website. All right, cool. So it's going to do like a little redirect, and it says stone.com before it goes down, right? So firstcornerstone.com is the website name. And so what I did is I went into archive.org. Wayback Machine is Bob Diggity. And so you go up in there, you type in firstcornerstone.com, and I guess I went into like 2015. I did a little searching around, but eventually I was able to pull up the website. And so what I was thinking is that you could go through, these type of the different pages that they have and see something that might be able to pertain to whatever it is that you're working on, right? And so in this case, we were working on like a mortgage company. All right, so a personalized financial services program, and then basically, these guys go not so much with the mortgages, stocks, bonds, tax advantages, mutual funds, all this other type of stuff. So if that's something that I was working on, basically I would be able to kind of do like a copy, paste, and then kind of repurpose it and touch it up a little bit. What you working on? You're working on a Lego, okay. And so that's just kind of like the idea that I have when it comes to that, so I don't know. I hope that's a value for somebody out there. Let me undo this. Earlier today we saw a movie called A Quiet Place, and I heard about it a while back. I just forgot about it, and so I guess the kids saw it and, oh, we want to see it. It was a good movie, guys. I mean, like, wow. I very much enjoyed it. So anyway, if anybody's out there that wants to, chat, jibber jabber, whatever, feel free. If not, no worries. And I don't know, maybe Ethan, should I tell the story of when I was a kid? Yeah. You like those? I love telling the kids stories, and they love the stories that I've had when I was a kid for some reason. Which one should I tell?
Something with the smell.
With the smell?
No, snow.
Snow. Snow. Okay. Well, I grew up in Wisconsin, guys. So, I guess like one of the cool stories about snow is when I was like 9 years old. It had snowed the night before. We had got like a very fine mist of rain or something like that. And then the temperature dropped again. And then the snow had frozen. And guess what? I was able to walk on the snow that day. It was awesome. So I was like on top of the snow running around with my sled, and it was pretty cool. Being a kid, I mean, you can get into all kinds of cool. So, one of the stories that I have, like where we lived in like a suburb, but behind us there was a field that was about to be developed. I mean, it was just like a lot that was there, probably for like a good 5 years or so. And in that meantime, as we were there, basically me and my friend would always go into the backyard there where the lot was, and we would have fun with playing with dragonflies and
trains.
No, not trains. So like grasshoppers, and being boys, we would dig holes and cover it up, and call them traps and stuff like that. It was like a fun little playground. And as time went along, my friend got the bright idea that along the development there was like a main road. And so my friend was like, hey, why don't we go ahead and try to pop a tire on a car?
Hey, not good.
Yeah, not a bright idea. I was like, okay, that'd be kind of cool. Watch a car like the what do you call it? The tire go boom, like a balloon. That's what we were thinking.
Yeah, no, it's like more like a bomb.
Yeah, well, not quite, but so basically, I kind of remember what happened to my cousin when he broke a window before, and so I wasn't aiming for the windows, but I was aiming for the tires. And you're not supposed to be doing that, guys. Okay, so. Me and my friend, I threw like a lighter and he threw whatever he could find. And eventually he picked up a rock. And sure enough, man, when he threw that thing, oh my goodness, like it was bad. Oh, so, what do you call it? The guy, he just slams on the brakes, and his daughter was in the car, and he yells at her, "Stay there!" And he just started chasing after us. And my friend was like, so we're running like the Dickens, and like one of those traps that we had, he hopped over it, and sure enough, this guy went boom. Oh, dude! I mean, after that, we were dying, and so that got this guy even more angry, so he takes off again. He's running, and my friend's running, he's running. He hops over another one, boom, and the same thing, man, boom, and he went down again. It was like, oh no, and so it was bad, man. So eventually, my friend, he gets to his house. He locks the door, runs the stairs, goes underneath the bed, I guess. And I see the guy out there, and he wants to go into that house, and then he's looking at me, and I'm like, go for it, Oh, it was bad. So yeah, eventually, I mean, obviously he knew where he lived, so he got in contact with the parents, and the parents, I'm sure, gave him the belt or whatever, and made him pay for the damages that were done. But my goodness, that was a story. So don't ever do that, guys. All right. All right. I don't know. What's another story I got?
The motorcycle?
The motorcycle story.
Unless I want to use this.
I thought you were on a motorcycle.
There was a friend of mine that lived way up near the Upper Peninsula of, what do you call it, Michigan, the UP. So I went to visit some friends up that way, and she had a motorcycle. And she wasn't very, I don't think you know about this one, buddy.
No, I do. I remember.
Okay, so anyway, she had a motorcycle, and I had no experience with riding a motorcycle, but this is way up in the boondocks in the country, so there's not a lot of traffic or whatever. So I was like, zoom, I'm going on the you guys are such dorks. I was going on the motorcycle, going down country roads, and just kind of learning how to drive it. So I was like feeling my Wheaties, and I'm going down, vroom, and there was like a turn that like went down and then turned, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I was terrified that if I were to go straight, I would have probably killed myself, going straight into like the trees. And so I had to lean into it, and it was scary, guys. So it's better to learn how to drive a motorcycle before you actually go on the road. So that's my 2 cents. What are you doing? Are you mimicking me? You're such a butt. You're such a butt. Yeah. So what else? Did I told you guys about the story with Ethan? You're bugging me. Wow. We got a puppet show going on right now. All right, guys. Well, put the cat down. Poor cat. My gosh.
Can you put the camera to the cat over there?
No, we're gonna leave the kitty alone. Poor kitty. All right. So anyway, Hope you guys enjoyed the show.